Hello, guys. I'm afraid you have to look at me today. Oh, deeply sorry for that. Honestly, at this point, whether or not the light is on or not is coming down to whether or not I turned it on when the sun went down. So it's like tonight, it was already on. Last 2 nights, I never turned it on and I didn't want to. Today was nice and slow, which I needed after driving all over Creation yesterday. I am tired. It's only like 11 o'clock. Um, I was tired at 9:30, but I kept playing what I was playing anyway. Because I'm an idiot. But, yeah. Got up and finished off the last room, or the last story, excuse me. It's, I enjoyed my time with it, but it was not one of those games that once I was finished with it, I was immensely sad that it was over. you know? Um, most of the issues that would keep me from playing it again are not related to the game itself. Um, and by that I'm talking about the random freezes and crashes. Um, it was fine. I wish it wasn't so narrator heavy. Um, there was, I forgot to mention this last night, but there was a part that was supposed to be um, pretty pretty sad and serious, and it kind of got ruined by the person that died. Uh, like, he said his like heavy last words, and it was supposed to be really emotional, and then the body ragdolled. And it's just what's really funny. I'm sorry. Like, it spazzed out hard. He went from slightly elevated head to note to all you burgeoning developers out there: script your emotional deaths. Do not throw your body to the ragdoll. Actually, make an animation. Uh, and again, similar to what I mentioned last night, there was quite a few moments in the game where it felt like a scene should have just ended, but instead of just ending, this narration had to come in like it was capping it off. I don't know. It was like, it was kind of, it was like the equivalent of, if after every punchline in a comic stand-up routine, he just shouts, "You should laugh now," even though people are already kind of laughing. Um, it's like, I'm not explaining it well, but it's just like, it was almost like, in case you missed it the first time, you should feel sad now. Do you feel sad? Maybe you will now that I'm telling you that you should feel sad. Because this is what just, and it's just like, are you trying to hit a runtime? It kind of reeked of when you have a minimum word count on an essay. Which is one of the biggest reasons. Like, I don't know how it got better on into it, but it's like the first like 6 episodes or so of My Hero Academia suffered from the same sort of thing, where like half of every episode was just kind of recapping everything that happened until now. And I'm like, it's like, and honestly, probably the reason it was done like that is because they had a episode quota, and each episode had a runtime quota. And it's like, it was probably enforced by a studio or whatever, and if the studio had just been like, hey, you can have like 3 less episodes, there wouldn't have been those weird redundancies. Because when they got into, good, like, more fast-paced story arcs, or more dense story arcs, I should say, with a lot more going on, never really had to do that. But like the first few episodes where there's a lot of small things happening, and not like larger, more cohesive arcs. They just like, I want to say like the 3rd or 4th episode in was just straight up everything that had happened in the first few episodes. And it's just like, no. But anyway, after finishing that, I started The Last Remnant, which is why I almost said that accidentally earlier. I know very little about the background of this game. I just know that I've tried to play it before, have been interested in it, but never really hooked. I want to say the last time I booted it up, the first thing that I was met with was atrocious screen tearing and the lack of a VSync option. Probably drove me away the last time I attempted to do this, and the fact that you have to manually turn on autosave. So I guarantee the last few times I played this one, I was beaten by the atrocious VSync, which I actually had to go in the NVIDIA control panel and force. Not that was that big of a deal. Like once you remember how to do it, it's not that big a deal. And then also remember to actually restart the application to make sure it takes effect instead of just expecting it to. Emulators can kind of ruin you in that sense, and with their ability to like actively update settings like that. But I mean, it's worth mentioning, I think this game came out in 2009, and so, but once I got everything set up, it looks great, it plays great, it sounds great. It's an interesting play on turn-based combat. You control like basically squads instead of individual people. There's specific ways they engage the enemy. It's interesting, and I don't even feel like I've fully grounded myself in the basics enough to explain it with any sort of cohesive, like I don't think I can cohesively explain it in a short amount of time, between how tired I am and the fact that I'm still when I think I've got it learned, it proves me wrong in some way. But it's fun. One thing that I was noticing a lot, which petered off later, it wasn't necessarily a negative, but it was funny to me, was like the main character is a young boy, sort of like ignorant to the world around him, so he sticks out like a sore thumb, and that's a fine trope and everything. But it means he speaks almost modernly, and I imagine it'd be like someone steeped in slang going to meet the royal family or something like that. So it's not that far fetched that he would speak like that. But the point I'm making is, for the first like hour or so, every time he would engage in a fight and start charging the enemy, he would yell, "Let's kick some A." I'm not censoring him. That's what he said. Let's kick some A. Now, the reason this was funny to me is the very first word of spoken dialogue, which is spoken by this character, is damn. Now, why are you okay? like, that's the tone they immediately said, but then you have let's kick some A. Like, let's kick some tail would be fine, but like to the point where you're actively censoring ass. It was just so funny to me. I'm so sleepy. I'm gonna go to bed now. Oh, yeah, other thing I was gonna mention was the whole, in relation to the whole autoplay thing. Ignore that stain. That was another nosebleed. Very small. I think what happened is you can save at literally any time that you're not in a fight. But like you have to manually enable autosave, which does autosave like after every fight, which is great. I guarantee what happened is I didn't have autosave on. I went an extremely long time without saving. Lost to a random fight that I just played wrong. And rage quit. Guarantee you that's what happened. Because I passed the point of I have no memory of this place very early in, like 2 hours in maybe, before you're even really cut loose. So that's fun. But anyway, yeah, like I keep saying, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed now. I'll see you all tomorrow.